and welcome to this week's episode of Poli-tricks. This week we'll be hitting the streets to find out what you think of the 2024 elections. What do you expect? Where does land and housing fall in your list of priorities? It's also August, and this month there'll be a host of Women's Day events. Why should land and housing be part of Women's Day? What is the point of looking at land and housing through a gendered lens when our constitution speaks about equality in neutral terms? What's the point of a gendered lens on women's issues, particularly in terms of land and housing, in the rural sector, in the urban sector? What is the situation for you on the ground? How does land and housing affect you? What is the cost of living? How much rent are you paying? Do you have tenure security? Do you have land that you can farm on? Do you have land that you can rent and pass on? What does land and housing mean to you in this election season?
What do you want from our politicians in the next election?
Honesty in public management. Honesty. I think we all have to gain insight.
Do you have any wishes that politicians will give you land or housing?
No, I don't expect that from them. But I wish they can give it to as much people as needed,
Yeah. What do you think about land and housing in Cape Town in general?
In general, for me, it is quite expensive, meaning to get property.
Okay, the land and housing in Cape Town is very poor, and there's a lot of people staying on the streets with families. It's overcrowded, and I think the government should look at this and look at those poor people who can't afford the housing.
For me, the issues that I want to see politicians addressing is the issues of basic services in the informal settlement, the issues of housing for those who've been in the waiting list for a very long time, and also the issues of land tenure for the people, land tenure security, so that people are able to actually have some sort of sense of ownership in those pieces of land which they've occupied.
We need land. Why must we suffer so long? We're long on the waiting list. If I die now, my name is on the waiting list. Who says that my children will get the housing? So yes, land should be used for us and should be granted and released for social housing, affordable housing for the poor people.
I want them to touch on the housing issues and on the land issues, and I think also it's on the gender-based violence, and I think there's electricity and water, because all those things are in one package. Because if you talk about land, you talk about housing, because you need the land for the housing, and most of our women are affected by these housing issues and the land issues. And when you look at our communities also, it's our women that's doing the work in the household, because we are the ones who struggle and hustle to put something on the table. So I think the land and housing issue is the one thing that they need to address. And I think we don't want to wait long anymore, because we've been waiting for so many years. It's every time the same promises that they are doing. And with elections, they're going to promise us a lot of things. So we don't buy into that anymore, because we are tired of them making the empty promises.